Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us today. Today we have with us two ladies from the beverage industry in Thailand, and then we will also be talking about the outlook of wine and cocktails bars in the new normal. Because as all of you know, because of the COVID-19 situation, there are lots of changes and there are lots of restrictions. So we will be finding out more about the new normal. So do stay tuned to our Facebook Live, and do remember to share this Facebook Live with all your friends so that they can know and learn about the beverage industry in Thailand. All right, without further ado, let me hand over the time to Eddie to introduce to you who the two beautiful ladies are. Eddie.
Yeah. So hello everybody. Good evening. Thank you for joining us again. So as you can see, we have done many live, but this is the first live we have that our guests are not male. So welcome to the two beautiful ladies with us. Alright, needed this, somehow. So anyway, before I start, let me just give a toast because on behalf of myself, on behalf of Alright, Stranger in Bangkok, I would like to give a toast and congratulate some partners of Jackie, Nick, Colin, and Ueno-san for their good work and their good placing on Asia's 50 Best.
Thank
50
you.
Best
Hey,
Bar.
congrats.
Yeah. Okay. I can hear something.
Echo.
Echo.
It's not the alcohol speaking.
Yeah. So okay, let's move. So let's, ladies, I would like you to introduce yourselves. I would like you to introduce yourselves. Not going straight into the businesses that you own, but a little bit more about yourself, like which country you're from, which countries you've lived in, and what are you doing. Yeah, and before going into what you're doing now. Yeah. So Jackie first.
Okay, hi everyone. I'm Jackie. I'm a Singaporean living in Bangkok for about 10 years, about same time as Eddie. So I think in this past 10 years, we've seen quite an interesting amount of excitement. And this one that we're in right now is probably the most exciting one yet. So
You made the most boring.
depends on how you see it.
Boring for you, but not for us,
Yeah, man.
Oh, okay. Okay, what about Lily?
Hi, I'm Lily. I'm Thai. I was born and raised here, but I was living around a little bit in Europe and in some other parts of Asia and the Middle East. And I moved back home to join the family business 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
So
So
I've been through
Lily,
some of the stuff, not
so
all.
Lily, since you're on it, so can you tell us what you do?
I'm the assistant director at Fabulous is Needed, or people call us Spin Wine. We're the first importers of small boutique wineries to Thailand, and we specialize in organic, biodynamic, and natural wines. Mostly, we do wholesale to like five-star hotels and fine dining restaurants.
Mm. Okay. So Jackie, what do you do? You have a lot on your plate, so take your time and tell us.
I have a number of restaurant and bars in the group. We have Pink's restaurant group, which you and Wilbur are very familiar with. We have Pink's Hot Pot. We have Tatsumi Japanese restaurant and Minky Hong Kong Rose and a couple of other bars like Find the Locker Room, Find the Photo Booth, Score Bar, 8 on 11. So apart from that, we also have a catering arm doing catering, food catering, F&B catering. Yeah.
Very busy lady you are. So Jackie, can you tell us of so many how to say eateries and places that you own? How many are open now?
So right now, out of the 10 outlets that we have, only one is open. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we are still very busy, one and a half. And
So I think this is a very straight and real answer for everyone to know how dire the situation is now for some of our friends fighting, in the industry now. 1 out of 10 outlets open. So so even though
Yeah.
beverages sounds like a very relaxing topic tonight, but it might not be as relaxing as we think. So I think let's go straight into how the COVID has affected specifically the beverage industry in Thailand, because there might be a lot of people outside Thailand who are watching now who don't completely understand the situation. So maybe Jackie, since you have more outlets, Jackie, you can give us like a brief overview of what happened since March, since all the happenings to restrict the spread of COVID, what the government has done.
Okay, so let me start like way before the government started implementing these measures. I think right in around Chinese New Year and Jan, we've already started. We heard news of the COVID-19 happening in China, right? So that's been like slowly affecting the economy as well as tourism numbers all over the world, and Thailand is not spared. So round about, I think we're slowly feeling it from end Jan, February, and then round about March, we were getting some news that the government would be implementing some measures with regards to this, as with many countries. So around 17 or 18 of March, we were given like about a couple of days, 1-2 days notice that the bars needed to be shut down. I mean, not only the bars, but the clubs, the entertainment places, the Muay Thai gyms, a couple of other businesses or nature of business needs to be closed. So our bars were the first to be forced to close. So of course we understand that because of the nature of this virus, we were happy to cooperate because it's important the health of our staff and also the health of health and safety of the staff and the people. So the bars have been closed since the 18th. And then after that, the restaurants, round about, I think, the 22nd of March, we were informed that all the restaurants or all the dining places were not allowed to have dine-in. So even like the convenience stores, which maybe like your Lawson and 7-Eleven that perhaps have a little sitting area, those were also forced to close. And the restaurants could continue to open, but they needed to, yeah, they
Sorry.
needed, no worries, they needed to, yeah, Champagne's not happy. Yeah.
I can't find him.
So
Carry on, Jackie.
yeah, so basically from 22nd, yeah, so we had to close, but only open for dine-in. So some of my restaurants started to close because they were located in hotels, and the hotels also made the decision to close. So then roundabout in April, roundabout like Songkran time, 10th of April, we were also informed that alcohol sales, alcohol was banned. Alcohol sales was banned. So we were not, restaurants, 7-Eleven, everywhere was not allowed to sell alcohol. And this was supposed to be from the 10th to the 20th of April. But then we received notice that it was extended till about end April, and then I think into early May. And then round about like early May, we were expecting it to be extended further, but they've informed that the alcohol sales could be resumed. But for restaurants like us, we could only sell for takeaway or do delivery, but not allowed for dine-in. Yeah. So right now, I mean, on top of that, we are in. I mean, we're currently in a state of emergency with curfews implemented. So initially, we were in that our curfew hours were from 10 p.m. to I think 4 a.m. So recently, they've relaxed, eased a bit of the restrictions, and extended the curfew has been like shortened to 11 p.m. to 4 a.m.
Yes.
Yeah, but
So, yeah, I think Jacqueline has explained a little bit about what is happening in Thailand from the perspective of a B2C owner. Like she has outlets that serve the public, and customers. But Lily presents the perspective of a completely different business model, because FinWine Group is basically doing B2B almost exclusively. So I think maybe you can share, how all this affected the B2B business as well.
Okay, so like people started working from home like for a while already, right? This was before the shutdown and the curfew and everything. So basically, people are already not going out much. So we saw our sales dwindle like very quickly. There was like barely anything in like February and March. So it was very worrying. Actually, like 19 closed off not great already. If you speak to some hoteliers and stuff, they will tell you that 2019 has been a pretty tough time for them for like in many years. Like if you go down to Phuket and stuff, rooms are still available, like even in mid-December, which is like usually peak season. And this has been like a thing for around 2 years now. So we knew that something like not great was going to happen, but we never really expected it to hit us this hard. And then suddenly no one's going out anymore, even when we were not forced to. Well, even before we were forced to not go out. Mm-hmm. And so our sales were hurting because, as Eddie said, our market is basically like 90% exclusively B2B. So we supply only like 5-star hotels and fine dining restaurants. And those markets, the ones that we're in, is very specific and very dependent on tourism, which is like one of the biggest industries of our country, And it becomes a chain reaction because people don't go to Jackie, then Jackie doesn't buy from me. And alcohol has always kind of been deemed as an unnecessary thing for their own political or moral compass. That is, we live in a Buddhist state. but it's always been that we're always on the back burner. When they started the ban, no formal communication has ever been sent to us. As people working in the beverage sector, we were always never thought of. You know what I mean? Like no one ever really lobbied or rallied for our rights, especially as small business owners. We've been hurting like so much because they can do whatever they want and we just kind of have to like live with it. And I found out about that they were gonna ban like on the 9th at like 2 p.m.
Yeah.
And this is like, is this really as a business owner, as an industry, how we're supposed to find out about our livelihoods and our employees' livelihoods like through Twitter
Yeah.
like screenshots sent by your friends, and everyone's like, is this true? Is this true? And I'm like, well, I hope not, but judging from the patterns that we've been through these past few years, like I would take it as yeah. So we're gonna be closed for 10 days. 10 days is a lot of revenue for us. We had to shift like over the past month and a half. We were basically living every day by day. I mean, people are like working from home and they're like, oh, but yeah, it's kind of boring working from home and stuff. I never stayed at home. I was actually in the office every day.
Me too.
Don't worry. Yeah, exactly. Don't worry, because like our company is really small. We're not even 10 people, and we all like have no social life, so we're all super safe. But basically, like we live everything day by day. You know, every day is how are we gonna play it? What's gonna happen? What should we do? And then suddenly, our business model has to turn like 180 in 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know. Like we're already like starting to gather some like private customers and stuff, but then everything like within like literally 15 minutes, I was like, oh crap, they're gonna ban alcohol for 10 days. Like this is when we make our money now, you know, like flash sale on that day on the 9th at like 2:30 p.m. Like literally in the 16 years that we've been in business, we've been through a lot of things, but nothing was like the 9th of March. It was pure madness. Like I've never seen alcohol hoarding in that sense. It was insane. Frankly speaking, like it has really impacted us a lot. I'm not as a business alone, but it has a much wider impact also on our entire industry. Because when we're all so desperate to be alive, we're just dumping our prices. At the end of the day, we make no profit. You're lucky if you're not losing. This is not the kind of industry or environment that we should be in, or in a situation that people should be pushing us to be in this situation. Because at the end of the day, like it comes like it's a chain reaction. So after me, it's our suppliers. Like our suppliers all around the world, they're like, oh, we understand that things are really difficult. And actually, a lot of people are not paying us. Like we still pay our suppliers on time, but it's like it's a chain reaction, you know?
Yeah. So, is it too much to ask if the two ladies to share like how much percentage of revenue you have left compared to normal in the last couple of months? I mean, just if you would like to give a round figure to show the impact, how bad the impact is.
So like example, we have 10 outlets, right? So 9 are closed, which means 90% of the business is gone. We have only 1 outlet open, and with this outlet, which we had to pivot to do delivery, because previously we had delivery, but obviously was not the main bulk of the business. So right now we're looking at maybe about 10% of what we were doing previously, and I mean, like Lily said, what we're trying to do is, you know, it's not about profits right now. It's just more about surviving. We just want to like continue to do it so we can pay our staff and look after them, and it's been crazy. Yeah.
What about Lily? Anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, because the majority of our sales are like basically all of our sales are HoReCa or like on trade. We lost like basically 95%. And then now we're only making like maybe 15% of what we used to make. That literally meant every day we spent looking for new private customers. It's
Oh.
every day you're trying to beat the people around you so that you can sell 6 bottles at a highly reduced price, minimal margins.
This is quite brutal. I mean, if I look at all the measures, I think that there are so many layers that are preventing you guys from getting any revenue at all. Because firstly, the tourists cannot come in, so all the tourists the foodie tourists who come in to eat the fine dining, okay, they are not here anymore. Okay. Secondly, the social distancing measures. Even though restaurants can even though restaurants can open, a restaurant that could formerly seat 40 people might only seat 12 people now.
Yep.
So even if all of them, I mean, even if you can sell wine in the restaurant, you will only be able to sell to 12. And then you cannot drink in public. You can only drink at home. So
it's never just 12.
You cannot even
you have
sell it to 12
bottles of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not 12 beers, you know.
Yeah.
And you can only sell to them to bring home to drink.
Yeah.
So what is the point? And then there is the curfew. The curfew stops at 11. The curfew wants everybody to be home at 11, which means that the bars must close maybe at 10:30, even if they can open.
Yeah.
Which is like just a small fraction of their usual opening times. So everything is like almost everything is preventing you guys from doing business.
It's really gloomy. Yeah, it's really gloomy.
Literally everything.
Yeah.
Everything is preventing us from doing business.
And,
like I said, we're
most hotels are closed.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, please, Jackie.
No, sorry. I mean, I was saying that at first when they announced that the bars had to close, and we were like, okay, we told everyone, just hang in there. It's gonna be like until the 12th of April, you know, and that's just 1 month. So everybody just take a break, you know, go back, and then we'll see you in a month. And then when closer to that time, they just extended it without informing us, you know. There's no proper notice, like what Lily said. And then we just there's never. So we're just like, oh, okay. I guess that means that we're still closed. And then now that we're closed, and we're expecting to open maybe next month, mid of next month, we're thinking that it might be extended again. And we don't know. And even when we open, we're kind of like, what are we going to do? Do we need to have partitions like in restaurants? Do we need to restrict, you know, I have a speakeasy bar. My bar counter can sit 8 people or 10 people. So if I restrict and do social distancing, we're talking about 4 people at the bar, 2 people at the bar, you know?
Yeah.
So how are we going to do this? It's looking pretty gloomy right now.
Yeah, it's not gonna be better. I mean, if the social distancing thing, which is kind of necessary at certain points in time, if this thing goes on, it's none of the restaurants or bars, no matter which scale, would be profitable, because if you're a sound investor or a restaurateur, you would actually calculate the number of seats, turnovers for it to suffice and for you to make a profit. Which if you're operating at literally a quarter of that capacity, you're never ever gonna break even. You're basically running at a loss. You're opening a restaurant and your overheads are the same because your aircon is at full blown capacity. It's not like you can suddenly make it variable, you know? Your overheads are gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And I mean, for us, if people can't drink, then that dwindles down our business too.
Yeah.
So I realized that many people in the industry might be watching as well. So I think I would like to encourage comments again. I would encourage questions if you have any to ask about the situation in Bangkok, because we have 2 ladies in the business who are here to answer your questions if you have anything, you know, that you want to know. And fellow restaurant owners or bar owners or bartenders or you know, sommeliers, if you are watching, if you have any comments, you know, to add on to the perspective, please let us please comment, and we will show your comment and discuss. So Wilbur, we have heard so much from the ladies, right? And I would like a more balanced view from you, because you are in Singapore going through all this. We heard that in Thailand, the ban was very last minute. Okay, how is it done in Singapore? Does the Singapore government give the people more time to prep when they, introduce new measures, or is it equally, last minute for people to react?
Actually, this question is quite hard for me to answer because I don't own a restaurant or anything in Singapore. But from what I understand, I think it's almost the same as Thailand. A lot of them do not know the news until the Prime Minister come out to announce. And then from there, then they will be able to perhaps call a hotline to check if their business really have to close. Yeah, so I don't think they really get any advance notice as well. They only have time to react only after the speech by the Prime Minister, whereby they can perhaps call a hotline to find out if their business are considered essential service or what. Yeah, so I think it's the same for many countries from what I see at the moment, because nobody really knows what is happening, and the government is really the one making the final decision. Yeah.
I think if you look at the bigger picture, I think the last minute decision might be applicable to many countries, but it is the support system after. Like, for example, Singapore has this hotline, and then Singapore's government has come up with a lot of budgets to help businesses.
Yeah.
So this after support, might not be the same from country to country. So obviously,
True, yeah.
maybe for Thailand, this is a little bit more lacking, if from what I hear, because if there has been a very adequate support system, I think the ladies would have mentioned it already.
There's been no support system. Like Jackie and I were saying, was that everything was extremely last minute, which I do understand that during emergency situations, things have to be last minute. However, we kind of take this last minuteness to the next level, I would say, because so I'm fine with them deciding yeah, we're gonna start banning starting from tomorrow. Okay, you made your decision, that's fine. We can live with that. On the 19th of, I think it was the 19th of March. No, April. March, yes.
March.
Yeah, it's just we lost count. I totally lost count. Yeah.
No, 19th of March. So they were so there were news circulating that the Big Potatoes are discussing about whether they would extend the ban. Fair. Okay. Thanks for the update. On the 20th, which is supposed to be the last day of the ban, they come out to announce that they will have a meeting to decide whether April or March. April.
The ban is April. Yeah.
Yes. Jackie.
Songkran.
It's just
Okay, it was after Songkran.
Songkran one.
Yeah. Okay. So on the 20th, they come out again and they're like, yes, we're going to discuss today and tell you tomorrow. Don't tell us twice that you're trying to have an answer about our future. We're already so stressed out all the time. We don't know what tomorrow is going to be like. We're literally living everything day by day. Thank God, we're privileged enough that we have a good support system of people who are in our industry, and we don't have an issue with having to fill our stomachs, or that the people around us also have food to eat and all those things. So those kind of worries are out of the window. But at the same time, it's the livelihood of the people who are around us, who are on our teams, who are not as fortunate as we are, because they also have less means than we do. And for everyone to be sitting on the edge of our chairs all the time, wondering what is our future going to be like? Will we be able to make money and have some income so that we can pay our staff? Or you don't need to like blue balls us twice. Sorry.
They can
Yeah.
blue balls 3 times, 4 times.
Anyway, Wilbur, okay. I think we have discussed about half an hour about how bleak the situation is. So I think we would like to change the mood of the discussion a little bit after this. But maybe Wilbur, you have some comments to share before we change the mood of the discussion?
Okay, let me go through the comments. Okay, there are comments from our viewers commenting about the announcement from Singapore side. So Jules was saying that Singapore's announcement are more structured. And then from Leonard, businesses have time to react, perhaps maybe few days to 1 week. But as what we heard from the ladies in Thailand, is like only 1 day or
2
less.
days.
Yeah.
I mean, we hear rumors,
then-
but we don't. Yeah.
From Clarice, oh,
Hello,
they also
Clarice.
have a business code.
Clarice.
Yeah, so they can check via the business code during the like circuit breaker. CB is actually circuit breaker for Singapore context. Yeah. So yeah, I think in general, I think Singapore wise they are really, I think they give businesses at least some time to react. But from what you're hearing, the other side is not much time given for Thailand. Yeah. So perhaps I mean, if there are any future announcement, hopefully they will give you more time to react. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
so-
these
Yeah,
are the
and I
comments
think
at the moment.
we at the beginning, I mean, Eddie asked if like there was any support. You guys were talking about how if I mean, after the last minute notice, if anything was put into place for us, the answer is no.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, cancel, bye, see you.
Aside of smile, I don't have any other.
Nothing to
I
say.
have nothing else to say
Speechless.
because this is very real,
It's
yeah.
I mean, it's not just me, but I'm also very close to a lot of restaurant operators who we've been supporting each other over the years, and it's really heartbreaking to hear because I mean, my company is really small and I'm very, very lucky for that. But at the same time, a fine dining restaurant runs a brigade in front of house that adds up to like 60 people. And when they don't have anyone, they're just doing delivery. They can't afford all this staff. At a time where the hospitality industry is trying to work better, put in more effort to give hospitality workers fair pay, fair hours, better privileges, better quality of life, we're stuck in a situation where we have high overheads and we can't afford to pay our staff. I mean, I still pay all my staff and they only had a slight like salary increase, but when you're restaurant running like 40, 60 staff, it's basically impossible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of places that had to sacrifice their staff, either put them on a roster of like people who were leave without pay, or some of them would just have to be cut loose so that they could pick up on their social security checks, which the government was supposed to have in place.
Yeah.
But they also
And-
really failed on that because a lot of people, they don't know when their social security money is going to come in. And they don't know what the amount is because apparently it's also not the same amount for every person.
Yep.
Like, it's not just us, but people around us. A lot of people around us are living in extreme uncertainty. And that really frustrates me.
Yeah. Anyway, are we ready to look ahead?
Yeah, sure.
So I think no, we have conducted a lot of Facebook Live chats with many people from many walks of the industry, and we always start with talking about how COVID has impacted us. And on Thursday, we're gonna have a tour guide from Phuket who is coming on. I don't think the situation will be. I don't think the situation or what we hear from him will be much better than any of what we are hearing from him. Yeah, not a happy man at all. So
no one's happy.
Yeah, so I think what we can get out of this is that we can see a lot of good things happening. People who are struggling, we try to find creative ways of working and trying to help the people around us, or try to find other ways to survive. So I think we move forward and we talk a little bit about that, because I'm sure that both of you have done a lot in these aspects in the last 2 months, because the situation has been so dire. If you are going to if you're going to run the business the old way. So maybe we start from Lily first.
Yes.
I think in the last 2 months, you've become one of the best cookie makers in the city with your community cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're
can
in
you tell us
Bangkok,
more
you
about
have to
it?
order it. If you're in Bangkok,
Yeah,
you have to order.
if she wants to make any,
Yeah.
Wow,
It's
look
so
at that.
good. It's so good.
Thank you, guys. So
Yeah,
yeah, we
Lily.
have to be extremely creative in this time, right? And I mean, community cookies wasn't supposed to be a thing. It was one day I was like, oh, I haven't made chocolate chip cookies in so long. I want to make one. And then I was like, I don't like this one. I know I can make it better. Until like maybe 150 cookies later, I was like, yeah, this is it, So I started like sending them over to my friends and stuff, and they were like, this is really good. And then I think like the timing was just right, because I mean, I saw that a lot of I was very inspired by the people around me, and I guess the timing was right. So I've been hanging out with some of the people who I've been close with, and I've seen what they do for the people around them. So I hang out with Chef Bo and Chef Dylan quite a lot. They're like our family friend, and I talk to them, about like how they source their ingredients, how things are going. And then one day Dylan was just saying, like, we have 60 farmers in our network, and the fact that we're only doing delivery like 3 times a week now, and 2 CSA boxes, means that we can't buy from everyone in our network. And a lot of people that we used to buy from, like, even though if we can buy from them, it's a lot less. And I was like, crap, that's like really sad, because we're looking at small scale farmers here. As a small scale business, I feel that pain, And then I see P. Charlie, like Chef Charlie Cutter, like he's cooking meals for those in need. And Chef Deepankar, he's cooking meals for those in need. He spearheaded like the No One Hungry initiative. So I was like, I don't know, like the numbers just added up in my head, and I was like, yeah, I'll sell cookies. Like, I didn't really want it to turn a profit. I was like, 'cause I never wanted to enter the cookie business, because why would people want to buy my cookies?
They're delicious.
Yeah, I'm glad you did.
Why
I'm
would
glad you did.
I sell my cookies?
Me
Why would
too.
people buy my cookies when they can just buy other people's cookies that are already in the market, And then like everything added up in my head, and I was like, damn, if my friends really say that these cookies are as good as they are, as my friends say, I'm gonna sell the cookies and I'm gonna give the money to charity. But I'm like quite cautious about where I put my money, especially when it comes to charity. So I didn't just want to hand over money, like everything worked in a like network in my head. So basically I was like, I'm gonna give the money to Chef Bo and Chef Dylan so that they can support their small scale farmers more. So that at least we know the people who have been supporting us this whole time, in that case for them, their farmers, are also still supported through these difficult times. And then they will send, I asked them to deliver the fresh produce to Chef Shali and Chef Deepankar to cook meals for those in need through their initiatives. And this guarantees that the people who receive the food are actually getting properly, like sustainably sourced and organic and very nutritious meals. Even though it might be just one week, because the vegetable delivery for them is like on Tuesday. Like, I know that on a large scale, people are being hungry, and people might view us be like, organic for those in need, like you're so bougie. But it's not a bougie. Like, frankly speaking, it's not a bougie thing. It's just that we want to support the farmers that are in our network, because they need a living, and they happen to have really great ingredients. So whoever is eating it is getting a really nutritious meal.
Okay,
And-
Lily.
Yeah, sorry.
Lily, are you still selling your cookies? Are you still making cookies?
So community cookies.
This is what
ran for-
everyone wants to know, you know.
community cookies ran for 5 weeks straight, and everything
Okay.
is done by hand. I actually, like, you see, like in the picture, there are like 4 cubes of chocolate, and there are 4 cubes of chocolate because I cut kilos of chocolate every Wednesday, and then I have to find the pretty ones and then count 4 times number of cookies that I'm baking. So you can see how that is extremely time consuming.
What is the maximum number of cookies you have sold per weekend for 1 weekend? 1,000?
No. I think I sold around 140 boxes 1 week. And that week was a special week, so that's 140 multiplied by
Times 6.
6.
840.
Yeah, something like that, maybe.
That is nearly 1,000, you know.
Yeah, it was nuts.
That's
My
nearly
math is
1,000,
really
you know.
bad.
You need some help?
Oh, it was
No,
terrible.
I'm-
Like, we were in cookie hell. Like, thank you to like Chef Bo and Dylan for letting me use their oven, because they're like, Lily, use our oven. You can bake 6 trays instead of 2. And I was like, hell yeah. And all my friends have been very supportive. They come to help me on the Saturdays. And that week, actually I started because I wanted to sell only 30 boxes of cookies per week. The demand kept coming in. I was putting people on waiting lists, and then I was like, I didn't want to do that to them anymore. I don't want them to wait more than a week and a half for cookies. That's ridiculous, you know. So I would go
Yeah.
up to maybe around 50 boxes a week. But that week really peaked because I used Chiang Mai chocolate. So I did a collaboration with Nosh Nosh Project, and I put in extra donations on top of what we would send to No One Hungry and 100 Smile Meals to Nosh Nosh Project for the Chiang Mai bushfires. So I was like, I didn't want to just, do a few boxes and they hardly raise anything. People are going to be like, you're just doing this because marketing. It's like, no, the money has to be like, it has to kind of make a difference,
Yeah.
It's not just like,
Wilbur.
Yeah.
We have many comments about the cookies. Show Lily. Show
What?
Lily. Show her.
Okay, let me see.
Show her all the comments from the floor. So
oh, this place is called Community. Okay, let me know, Jules.
more,
Yeah,
more.
but I mean,
There are more.
Basically, you asked me what we do, right? So basically, our family, like my mother and I and our company, we've always been very philanthropy focused. We focused on our community, on being a small business, on supporting the small businesses around us. And every year you've been to our festive market, Jackie and Eddie. So festive market every year, we will focus one charity. So the past year was the Chiang Mai wildfires, and the first year of Spin Festive Market was Klong Toi music program for underprivileged children of Klong Toi slums. And so it's like very important for us to do things like this to give back to people who are around us. For us, it's not about being rich. It's about being well together. A lot of people we work with in hotels and restaurants, they don't come from Bangkok. They come from various places around Thailand. And our country is so rich in biodiversity and different fruits and vegetables and local produce. So on top of my cookies, my mother is also doing her community support pesto. So she buys so it's a Thai pesto. It's not like your Italian basil, kind of pesto that you're used to. So we're going very local, and that's what we want. That's what we like to do. So she uses holy basil, horapa.
Horapa, yes.
Yeah. Organic horapa from Bolan.
Horapa is Thai basil, I think.
Thai basil. Okay.
Yeah.
Thai basil.
Mm.
From Bolan Grocer. And instead of usually with pesto, you would use pine nuts, right? But in this case, she's using wood roasted cashews.
Yeah.
From the south, because one of our really good friends, he's the head sommelier of the Six Senses in Yao Noi. And since the resort shut down, he's just back at home, and he has this like a small plantation of cashew nuts, and everything is like organic, homegrown, hand roasted. Literally, like they just roast it, like they just throw it in a pit, fire, like, and then they break everything individually by hand. Quite pricey, but very delicious. So it's about supporting the people around us, and the money that she makes from her pesto also is kind of like going to the villages up in the north, because there are a lot of people who are living nearby the forest. Some of them actually live in the forest, and the forest comes and goes, but the loss and the damage that it's done, like you need money, and people there, they need to rehabilitate from the situation that they're in, you know.
So anyway,
Yeah.
Wilbur, as you can see, we have done this kind of Facebook Live again and again. And the recurring theme is that the situation is dire, but another recurring theme is that everybody is trying hard to help everyone around them. So yeah, it brings out the best of people in the worst times, you know. It is very encouraging to see. Anyway, Lily, thank you for sharing. I think Jacqueline is getting a little bit bored. So we will move up to her
Not at all.
for now. So I think Jackie has also done a lot of very creative, innovative ideas and executed them pretty well in the last couple of months to keep her business afloat, because she has like 10 eateries of staff to feed, you know. So a lot of things have to be done if she's gonna keep everyone on the payroll with one operating eatery. So tell us more, Jackie.
So I mean, first of all, the cookies are great. So if anyone, if Lily is continue like selling these cookies, everyone in Bangkok should just like buy a box or 2 or 3. Okay, on my end, so the Pink's restaurant is the only one that we're open right now. We're lucky in the sense that you know, we've managed to within the short time notice that we had, we tried to pivot our business model and try to make our food suitable for delivery. So some of the people who are tuning in right now in Bangkok or in Singapore, they've been to Pink, so they know that it's a Thai Chinese style concept where, you know, people get together, they enjoy a meal, and usually they enjoy dining in. But right now, what we're trying to do is that we've had to, present that same offering and provide it at home for them. So, I mean, in the picture, you can see that's our braised abalone rice. That's our signature dish.
My favorite.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so
one of the best bites in the city, you know, one of the best things to eat in the city.
Yeah, so this is great. Like this dish, we can do it like in a frozen pack form and delivery form. You can buy it home. There were some inquiries from our site where some people, they were concerned about the COVID and they didn't want to be out at all, and they didn't want to order delivery all the time. So they were asking us if it's possible to like order our food to keep, because we focus on really good ingredients. So they asked if they could store them at home and then kind of like have it whenever they wanted. So this menu, along with like our braised fish maw soup and other dishes, are suitable for like storing at home. You can keep it frozen form, and whenever you want it, you can just take it out of the fridge, you know, and heat it up, and you can have it with your steamed rice. So it's almost as good. I wouldn't say like exactly the same as in the restaurant, but I would say like 90%, 80-90%, you get it at home and in the safety of your home. So you don't have to worry so much and still not have to compromise on eating, you know, because it's important to also eat well during this period. So apart from the Pink's menu, we've also my catering company, which happens
wait,
to.
Jackie. Wilbur, can you show the comments generated from just one photo?
Okay, go on.
Oh, you can do that. That's
It's
so
gonna be
cool.
interesting to see. Yeah. Just to let Jackie know, make Jackie happy.
Thank you.
Number one.
Yeah.
I mean, I highly
Number
recommend
two.
Pins. Like, I do order from Jackie quite often, and that's
Yeah.
not because we're
Thank you,
pretty
Lily.
close. But I mean, I'm very picky when it comes to food, and I understand that if you order takeaway, like there are just things that you don't order because when you reheat it, it's just like real sad, you know. But Pink's food is like always very fresh, and even when you have to reheat it, it always holds up very well. Like you have like Hokkien mee, and then the next day you reheat it and it doesn't turn to mush. Like it's still some like pretty much slurpable, which is like great skills, man. Really.
You see?
Yeah,
see,
deliver to
Jackie,
Singapore.
just one
Thank
photo.
you.
Just one photo. We have like endless comments,
Thank you. And I
Endless.
I'm really, really, really like thankful because I've had some friends from Singapore. They've ordered for their friends in Thailand, our Pink's food, and
Wow,
they've been so
incredible.
sweet. Yeah, and I mean it's really during this period that I'm like really, really incredibly touched by the friends who've like they're in Singapore but they still try to buy for their friends, or they even send flowers, yeah, like and not only have they just supported the business, they've also paid more than what they should, because when I told them like this is the bill, and then they pay extra because they want to give it to the staff. And I mean that's really like they go over and beyond. So I really, really thankful for that. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to old Jackie now.
Yeah, so Jackie is this new catering brand that we've created. Some of my friends or people who are tuning in right now will know that we've been doing Singapore food for the longest time. We've catered to the Singapore Airline Lounge in Bangkok. We've catered to the embassy events. We've catered to the Singapore families here. But obviously in this period where there aren't any more gatherings or events, not that much, they shouldn't be. But we've kind of like created this brand where we felt that like during this period where we have some Singaporean friends and they have not been able to go back to Singapore at the usual frequency that they used to, and they really miss home. So we've started this pre-order brand where we do nasi lemak, laksa, pre-order specials, and gave the Singaporeans, Malaysians, even Thai people who like this a taste of home, what home means to me. And the other one where you see the Power Puff. Power Puff is kind of this, Singapore style curry puff. We've named it like Power Puff because we felt like we really want to power up. We want to power up people's life with our snack, and in fact, it powers my life too. Like sometimes when I don't have time to eat, I just grab it like on my way out. I grab it for lunch. I grab it for dinner sometimes. I grab it for breakfast. I mean, it's perfect for any time of the day. So we've been doing a lot of curry puff. Yeah.
I'm happy you finally do this. You're finally doing this, Jackie, because I have said for like maybe 6-7 years maybe that the curry puff is one of the best that I know. But it's just so difficult to get them because you don't know where to buy them. But now you're making it available for delivery, citywide. So thank you for doing this because it's much easier to eat the curry puff now.
Thank you for buying it.
So when there is no availability, it's very hard to recommend. You see?
Yeah. I know what you mean. Like we've been trying to. So one of the great things that's happening this period is that there were a couple of projects that we've been wanting to do, but we have never had the time because running the operations of 10 outlets, it's pretty hard to kind of like come up with new things, and it always takes a back seat. So this period, although we've been busy, we've also had time to kind of like see what might be suitable for this period, and we thought these products were really suitable, and it's been, I mean, the feedback that we've received so far has been great. Like people have enjoyed it, and
Comments are coming.
yeah. I've had Singaporeans. The funny thing was that I've had Singaporeans like texting in to say, "Hey, can you deliver?" And then when I ask them what's their address, or when they ask me how much it is, and I say it's like 45 baht, and they're like, "Oh, 45 baht? Like, aren't you in Singapore?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not in Singapore. I'm in Bangkok. So if you're here, I could deliver it to you, but Singapore's a bit too far."
Mm.
Yeah. So, yeah. So we
Yeah, you know,
deliver right now.
you don't know how many of my friends have ordered because of it, and they have how many have ordered again and again. You know, it is really, yeah, it is really incredible. Yeah, and I'm gonna order tomorrow. That's my wife. Okay.
Thanks, Lily. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jacqueline. It's good to see that you are innovating, and all these concepts that you are creating because of these problems. I hope that they will contribute to your revenue continuously, and be blessings to the to the people in Bangkok for the long term, not just for these 2 months.
Yeah, I hope so too. The feedback that we've received so far from the food has been really heartwarming. Like, I think sometimes at the end of the day, when we're like, working so hard and trying to survive the day, and then we receive a nice message from a customer that's ordered Power Puff or Old Jackie, and they said, like, that's like the best laksa they've had, or that Power Puff really made their day. And then it's like, it makes everything worthwhile. So that's been really touching for us and for the team. Yeah.
Okay, so okay, thank you, Jackie. Back to Lily. Yeah, Lily is bored now. Hello, Lily. Are you still there?
Yes.
Yeah. So just to come back to your business, I remember your company has we don't have pictures of that though, but I remember your company has this promotion called Friends of Finn. So
Yeah.
can you tell us a bit more about that, and whether you're going to
Yes.
do it again?
Yes. So, Friends of Finn was thought up by my mother. So everyone's doing discounts nowadays, right? It's just like, do you get 10% off, 20% off, 30% off, or like, how much are you getting off? And then my mom was like, well, we can just lose our revenue, or we can give a revenue in exchange, like, to our friends, buy something and give it to our customers instead. So basically it works out like this. Instead of saying you buy, they usually comes in boxes of 6. So it's a box of 6 assorted wines that we choose for you based on whatever the freebie is going to be. So Friends of Finn has been designed in a way that we can provide a promotion to our customers while supporting our local businesses, friends in local businesses. So we started off with like Sloan's, Bolan, and Royal Osha. So for example, we launched everything with Sloan's. The first one was like, you buy this wine box, and it's a discounted price, first of all. But in addition to, you're not paying full prices for the wines. It's like kind of like a special deal. So for example, like 10,000 baht, but you pay like 8,500, for example. Just like rough numbers, I don't remember. And then on top of that, you get 1 free beef Wellington full size that feeds like 2 to 4 people from Sloan's. All you have to do is like chuck it in the oven, and then you warm up your red wine jus, and then you have dinner with your friends. You have the wine, you have the meat, everything's perfect. And the beef Wellington itself literally costs like 1,950 baht. You can buy that online at Sloan's too. But you're buying wines, you're getting a discount, and you're getting a free beef Wellington. It's like a great deal. So that rolled over to pies and cheeses for Sloan's, because Sloan's also works with artisan cheeses. And when you do artisan cheeses, the ones here like are unpasteurized, the one that they use from Heaven on Cheese. And everyone struggled like really bad because anyone who does B2B or on trade struggles really hard. You just need to move your inventory, because one day things are okay, and then the next day the hotels are shut. So you're left with big stock, you know? So this is where we came in, and we buy things like normally, and it becomes a perk. And so like for Royal Ocean, we did like Khao Chair. For Bolan, we did like the CSA box and all these things. And we're
So
like
you
going
plan
through
to-
launch,
you
but we
plan to
launch
go-
them in periods so that
Mm.
people don't have too many options and then crowd the decision making, you know?
So you're going to continue this kind of promotion in partnering with other of Fin One Group's friends?
Yes, of course. So we will also do something with Jackie also. Like this has always been in the pipeline. I personally
So-
wanted it to be the river prawn bami, because that's like the best shit I ate in like so long.
Yeah, we did a
Obviously,
special
very
menu.
pricey. Exactly.
Oh,
And I think
yes.
that was interesting. You know, we usually try to find something that is like, it's of good value. I mean, we pay and you're supporting two businesses at the same time,
Yeah.
but basically paying less and eating really good and drinking really good. And everyone's happy
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yeah. So you see, there are so many initiatives, creative initiatives that are actually executed in adversity to help people and to reward the supporters, because end users and consumers like us, if we choose to support these initiatives, we not only support businesses but we get a good deal.
Yeah.
So actually, it's really nothing to lose. Yeah. So back to the outlook for the beverage business. What do you think is the future? Can you see into 3 months later, see into September and October, and see what is the situation?
It's really hard.
It's really hard. I
Do
mean,
you
at the
see your bars
bars,
open?
I
Do you
hope
see
so.
your bars open?
I hope so.
I hope
I hope
so.
so. I hope that, I mean, yeah, we hope that once we can open, we would open. But like, obviously it depends on what's the government gonna enforce. Do they need us to do social distancing, which probably is the case in the bars? How would they go about it? Are the curfews still there? Because if the curfews are there, and then we're looking at like 11 p.m. like you said, the bars need to close, right? So that means we have to close like by 10:30. You got to give time for.
You can open at 2.
Yeah, no, but 2 to 5 you can't sell alcohol in
yeah.
Thailand. Remember? So maybe 5. Yeah, so maybe 5.
Why
and
can you
everyone
open at 2? I thought curfew was until 4.
No, 2 to
You
5
sell-
p.m.
You sell
sell alcohol.
mocktails and you.
Oh.
Remember? Yeah.
No, you cannot. You can sell
Yeah.
at like 11 or
5.
5.
You
11
open
to
at 2 and you sell coffee, and then you encourage people to work from home, work from the bar.
You can sell at 11, no? So you sell from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. and then from 2 to 5 you sell coffee, so everyone sobers up, and then 5 o'clock you serve them the same people drinks again.
Yeah, assuming everyone doesn't need to work, because I mean I think it's gonna be challenging because cocktail bars, the experience, it's
exactly.
generally like a cocktail's like 350 baht. So if the economy is gonna be the economy is already being affected, so people are gonna like think twice about spending. So between example Wine Connection wine and a wine from Lily, they're like we could drink like cheap alcohol, and that works as well. So that's gonna be challenging because people will be more selective about how they spend their money, and then especially if the bars cannot have the experience that it once was. So why would they be going to a place where they cannot drink like however they want and they have to leave early, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
So I mean, we do expect to open, but that's a hope. We're not really sure. We have to like keep looking forward and be positive about it. But yeah, that's the hope that's keeping us all going.
I mean, I
What
personally
about
hope that
Lily?
she gets to open. For me, I can't really say because I'm not like operating a bar or like a wine or a cocktail bar, but I think what Jackie said was very relevant. And but the thing is, for me, it's easy because I mean we have proven that we can act immediately, like we are capable of doing that, and for us, we don't have to change anything much because we're operating from an office, you know. But at the same time, like it's about livelihoods and experiences, and even though people have to social distance, it's not the same. Like like at the end of the day, we're humans have psychological needs, we have sociological needs, we have physiological needs. You need to go up and like hug your friend when you meet them at the bar, man. And if you can't do that, you know, like we can't stop being humans. And this is where I'm trying to see how the government is going to um balance and find middle ground for things that are great, that would basically work, I mean theoretically, and to actually put in the human factor in there, and how they're going to ensure that the like 69 million people who are currently living in Thailand are able to live their lives and somewhat return to normal. Like we're not expecting to jump and hug our friends immediately, but like
Eventually.
yeah, you can't go to find the locker room and there are 3 people sitting in there. Like seriously, with social distancing, you can fit like maximum 4 people in there. What money is Jackie going to make? It's impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have
Yeah.
quite a cozy and intimate experience, and you would have like a full-on attention from the bartenders if there's like only 3 people, which
Yes,
is
and then
great,
now
you know. And
Yeah,
yeah,
and then
900 baht cocktail. 900 baht cocktail.
3,000 baht cocktails, man, for her to cover her AC cost. Seriously.
Mm,
yeah, it's more like
yeah.
the overheads, the salaries that we have
It's
to
the
pay, the rent.
overhead.
Yeah,
Chai, because especially like the thing is, can you imagine nightclubs or any entertainment like venue or business? Like, you know how I was talking earlier about how like the capacity of diners are calculated in a restaurant, that's like given some kind of like distance apart from the tables already anyways. But when you're
Yeah.
operating a bar or a nightclub, those things aren't exactly in the equation, like how far apart people are, because they're usually just mushed together. Like we're gonna be the last people to open, and like I think we talk about like I think people always say like, oh, you need to plan ahead and all these things. Like yeah, you can plan ahead, but in this case, it's really hard to plan ahead.
yeah,
You're walking into a really really foggy and dark room, and you literally just smelled a kilo of onions. Your eyes are crying. You can't see anything. Like that's the kind of situation that we're in.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
But
never know. Like maybe like I don't know. I wanted to ask Jackie this question, but for example, you know, when you had to switch to delivery so fast, did you ever feel like any insecurities or worries? Like what if things change again like 5
Of
days from
course,
now, and
of course.
everything that you had invested to shift
Yeah.
your business model overnight actually goes to waste?
Yeah, that was a part of it. Like we didn't know how long this was gonna last. So when we were told like we have to switch to delivery and then you have to kind of like change
Mm.
overnight, then you're like,
Mm.
okay, all this investment that you're doing, will it change again?
Right.
And currently the restaurants have to put partitions, right? Like they're required.
Mm.
And then we're like, okay, we need to do partitions in order to open. And of course we want to open, but what if we do the partitions and tomorrow, which costs, right? It's not like the government,
Yeah.
nobody's giving to us for free. We have to pay for it on top of all our existing like expenses, right? And what if like tomorrow they say it's not needed? So like, how do we know if we need to invest in that? You know, so that's been
Right.
crazy. And like restaurants, at least you can still deliver food. Like the bars, we can't deliver anything, right? I mean, it's illegal to like promote alcohol. So like how's the bartenders gonna survive, right? They're all humans as well. They're all like Thai people. They should have equal rights.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we pay a lot of taxes, and for people who pay a lot of taxes, like we make up a lot of the country's revenue. Like seriously, as an importer, like maybe a little too much. We're always forgotten all the time. We're always the unnecessary people. Sorry for all the
Is it
bitterness.
possible? Is it possible that your business can change to more focus on locals? Like for example, find the locker room and find the photo booth. Maybe a big part of your revenue were from tourists or expats.
I mean, not really. We had a good share. I mean, we had some tourists, of course, and it was like half and half. And we do service the locals. And for us, we welcome anyone who enjoys a good drink, right? So it's not like, of course, I understand that there are some businesses that are catered to like tourists, and obviously they're suffering right now. And I mean, even my restaurants, we do have quite a number of like overseas visitors, overseas foodies that come. They're not here anymore. And we do have like locals, and we cater to them as well. So yeah,
What about for Lily? Like for example, your wines are like the boutique wines, the organic wines. So maybe there could be more education, to teach people how to appreciate wine locally, so that people will shift to drinking your wines a bit more gradually. So could those things happen to slowly move the market?
Yes, of course. So I've always been very big on education. And wine is a very personal beverage. I think most beverages are very personal, but wine is like very, very personal. Because like even if you like Chardonnay, you might hate a particular Chardonnay. You know what I mean? Like every
I
person
think we might need you back for a wine
a wine specific session.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
but
wine.
I mean, basically, it's about a lot of people like wine is an experience, but it's also a learning curve for someone who might want to like develop their taste or find what they like. Sometimes people just say that I don't like wine, and I'm just like, there's so much wine out there. Like you ought to like something. Come on, And this is what I've been trying to kind of push. Like we've been big on letting sommeliers taste our wines, but now we're at a next, like we're in another direction and another generation of sommeliers now. The new wave of sommeliers are around like my age, and they're building their profiles and they're expanding their palettes, So we brought back more master classes. So every time a winemaker visits, we host a master class, and it's also open to the public if you want to come. So these are really great opportunities that we offer to the local people who are.
Oh, okay. Time to take a screenshot.
Oh no.
Okay, never mind. It's fine. I mean, we are in the home run already, yeah. Because it's been slightly more than an hour, so we want you to go home before the curfew.
Oh yeah,
Jackie. Yeah. So don't forget about that.
I still have some time.
So when Wilbur is trying to get Lily back, we go to the last question. Any words for fellow fighters in the industry and your customers, before we say goodbye?
Okay, for like the fellow fighters, I mean, we all know that we're from like the toughest industry, so we just gotta continue to keep tough and survive and stay positive. With every crisis comes an opportunity. So all I can say is we have to continue to hang in there and look forward and do what we can to survive, like we've always had. And for the customers, I would like to thank customers who have supported my businesses, supported by ordering. Every order counts, and your message, your words of kindness has been what's keeping me motivated, as well as the team. Yeah. And also, like for everyone who's ordering delivery, to be kind to delivery to delivery guys, because it's a tough job, to handle deliveries. I've done a few deliveries on my own, and it's tough out there. And now we're coming to rainy season, it's dangerous out there. So be kind, be patient with them, and then don't let them wait too long.
Yeah.
And then and also, like, for the customers, I hope that they understand that, like, some of the most of the restaurants, they have to be strict about not selling alcohol, or strict with the social distancing. It's not like what we want to do, but this is what we're required, because if we don't do that, our F&B license could be revoked, and that could be like indefinitely. So our source of livelihood will be gone. So whenever we have to reject your request for alcohol to be served in the restaurant, or like for you to sit with a group of friends on the same table, even if you're from the same family, it's not like we don't want to serve you. It's because we can't. So I understand, because I'm a consumer. I mean, we're all consumers, so it's a hassle, but we really don't want to do it. So we just hope for, like, people to understand like that we don't want to do this. Yeah. But we need to keep your safety is our priority. Yeah.
So thank you, Jackie. Lily, we have had a tour of your house. So do you have any last words?
Sorry, like my computer just froze. So my computer like just randomly froze out of nowhere. Did you guys hear me going like, guys, can you hear
Eddie
me?
even did a
No.
screenshot.
No.
Oh.
We're not.
Yeah, so I had to like grab my phone and then like grab my other earphones.
But
I mean,
it's good. It's good to have you back, man. We don't want to finish everything without you. Yeah.
I'm sure everyone's like sick of me just like complaining about everything now. But I completely agree with Jackie. Like, be kind to the people who are around you. Be kind to anyone you meet. Like, everyone's going through a really crappy time. Like, we don't want to get that back to, like, like, you don't want to be treated that way. Don't treat other people that way. You might meet a Grab driver who like really is like eating your brains out, but the guy has a family. He probably doesn't really want to be riding a Grab, but Grab has become an alternative occupation for many people who can't afford to have a motorbike. And they probably didn't want to be a Grab driver, and they probably don't understand it. Sometimes you have a new Grab driver who has never used Grab before, and the payment is by cash, and he forgot to pick up the payment from you or whatever. Call him, ask for his bank number, and give the money back to him. And the guys have had a really, really bad day.
Yeah.
It's about being there for the people who you know and the people who you also don't know, because we're basically all in this together. It's a really tough time. We're just all trying to get through our day,
This is so relevant. So relevant even for people outside Thailand.
Yeah. Everywhere.
Yes.
Like, you don't know what kind of situation. Like, maybe the guy was like giving you crap too for asking. Like, I mean, I had a guy who I called 10 delivery guys because I was sending out cookies, and then I was like, where are you going to? And he was like, I don't know, you called me. And I'm like, how do you not know where you're going to? And he was like, how do you not know where you're sending me to? And I'm just like, because I called like 10 bikes. How am I supposed to know who you are? Like.
And do you remember my last box of cookies came smashed?
Exactly. You're not the only person who got smashed cookies.
And I told you not to give that guy shit. So
I did
because
not. I
he
did
probably
not.
didn't know.
I
So this
really
is the
did.
bit of kindness that we can give, you know.
Yeah, be kind to the people who are around you. Support your friends in the local businesses where you can. Share any Facebook post that is relevant that might help someone out. You know, it's just big
Support
picture
your favorite
things.
restaurants.
Support your
Support your
favorite
favorite restaurants.
restaurants. Order direct
Yeah.
where you can.
Yep. Order directly.
Yeah, I know it's kind of like really difficult. sometimes.
Inconvenient and all that. It's not as
Mm.
convenient as the apps that you're used to, but you know, like it really helps the restaurant a lot
Yeah.
when you order directly.
Mm.
Yeah.
Tip the drivers if you can. There are a lot of
Mm.
Grab drivers out there. You don't know, you know. Like I was told that apparently if you cancel a ride and he's already there and you spend like and then they charge you, I don't know, 15 baht or whatever for the guy already being there, they don't get the money. I'm like, what? So be nice. I mean, if
Yeah.
they come to your home, you have a cold bottle of water lying around, give him a bottle of water when you pick up your food. Just be kind.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Wilbur, I think the ladies have given their last words. Should we end with any words from the floor, if there are any?
There is one last one.
Oh.
Wow, so long, cover my face.
For Jackie.
Thank you. Thank you, Atio.
Who's that?
Yeah.
My uncle.
Oh, hi, uncle.
He's so sweet.
Susu Naka.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you, Jules.
Thank you, Jules.
Thank you, Adeline.
Thank you, Adeline.
Yes. This
Shall I
is
propose
Michelle's
a
answer.
toast?
I finished
I-
my wine. Sorry.
I don't have
Oh.
any more. I only have one ice cube. So sad, right? It was delicious though. All right, it's been so fun. We should ask more ladies on live. You know, Wilbur. We really should.
Yeah.
We
True,
really
true.
should. We just don't know enough of them, so that's the problem.
You
So
should
anyway,
do one
thank you.
about your wife being a stay-at-home mom during COVID.
Yeah, yes. Home all day, every single day. You know, and you cannot see the end on when she can actually go out again.
Yeah, you should do
Yeah,
one
so-
about like people who are living at home with their children and their children can't go to school.
That's true. Mm.
That's a good
Mm.
idea.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Yes, yes,
Super
yes.
real, man. So many people have children.
Yeah. Wilbur,
Lily, you should supply your wines to them. You should supply your wines. I think they need it, or like cocktails if you need any. You know.
Hey,
Yeah.
come on. Hey, come on.
But only after your children finish their homework.
Yeah.
we were trying not to
Responsible.
cross. We were
Yeah.
trying not to cross the line, but we are ending. So you know,
Yeah,
we hope
drink
that
responsibly.
we
drink
hope the big potatoes are not so patient to watch until the end. So
We just watched the last part.
Oh
I'll
no.
first and
send
the
you
last.
wines to stay-at-home moms. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. It's been a
Okay,
great
thank
time.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So,
Thanks to
thank
everyone
you.
who tuned in. Thank you.
Thank you for
Bye
staying with us.
bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Good night. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, for those who are still with us, do join. Let me see. Okay, the screen should be showing up. Okay, we have another Q&A session. This time with a local expert from Phuket. So we'll be discussing how is the tourism like in Phuket, and in fact, he has something to tell us about the new tourism that he foresees in Phuket, as well as we will also talk a bit about some durians. Okay, because for durians, it's very different from what we have and what they have in Thailand. So we are going to discuss about the durian culture and how is it different between these three countries, I should say, Thailand, Singapore, and Malaysia. Yeah, so do stay tuned to our next panel discussion on Thursday at 9 p.m. and 8 p.m. Singapore and Thailand time, respectively. All right. So thank you all for still staying tuned, and see you guys on Thursday. ขอบคุณครับ Bye bye. Good night.